he was born without an anus. And so as soon as he was born, he had an emergency surgery. And because it was a newborn, they couldn't put a G bag, is what I call it, a G bag on the child, so he could use the bathroom. And so in Honduras, what they do is they actually make an incision in the side of the child and bring out a piece of the lower intestine through the side of the skin, and sew the skin around it, and just leave the intestine exposed, basically, so the child can use the bathroom. And so the parents had went home with the child in that condition. They came back, and the next year they came back to try to reconnect everything and make it work right. And the surgery was not successful. And as soon as the child got home, he had a complication where the incision actually came open. And so it actually exposed his innards, and they had to rush him back to the hospital and actually perform the surgery again to try to patch him up. And then they went back one more time to try to reconnect everything, and it didn't work, again. And so when I found him, he still had his intestines outside of his body. He was 4 years old, and other than that, he was, very strong, very healthy kid, very good attitude. I mean, if you didn't see the incision, you wouldn't even know that he was sick. And so we took it upon ourselves to find a physician for free to have the child checked out and clear him for surgery. And once he was cleared for surgery, then we used an NGO hospital, nonprofit hospital, basically in San Pedro Sula, Honduras. And they perform critical surgeries like this for basically nothing. And so we had went in there with them and negotiated with the administration, and ended up doing the surgery for $400, which dirt cheap for the surgery. And they allowed me to speak to the doctor personally before the surgery was performed. And, I explained to him who I was, and that I had, some type of medical training in the military. And I knew the kid was going to live. He was in good health, and he should be fine during the surgery. But basically, pressuring the doctor to do a good job. And because that's what happens here in Honduras, is people go to the doctor and they receive less than correct service. Their human rights are violated every day here. And so that's part of our mission here, is to take people from time to time to the emergency room or to the doctor, and then just act as a international observer, which makes the doctors nervous and makes them do their job right. And so the final surgery was performed, and they were actually able to reconnect everything and actually sew the child up correctly. And we're now a year later after the surgery, and the child is brand new. He has absolutely no complications. He can eat what he wants. He goes to the bathroom normally like everybody else. He runs, plays, climbs trees. So definitely a miracle that he came out okay. Other than working on medical issues, I've worked with the Red Cross of Honduras here in Omoa, going out doing well checks with them. Or if they have an emergency call and a lack of personnel, then sometimes I'll go out and volunteer actually for them to try to get patients out of remote areas.
Who pays your salary? And what do you have? Like, you have an organization that you started, a name that somebody can look you up?
I'm sorry, you broke up, Chris.
I asked if number one, who pays your salary? Number two, what's the name of the organization so people can look you up?
Currently we're Aid for Omoa, Honduras, and we're on Facebook. There is I don't have a salary, but what allowed me to come back to Honduras and do this is that I'm receiving disability from the U.S. Army for my conditions. And it's not much, but it's enough here in Honduras to rent a house and have a motorcycle and to buy my food and pay my bills. And so I self-sustain myself with that, or I sustain myself, should I say, with that disability check. And then the projects that we do in the communities are all provided, those funds are provided by donors. Donors or donate something for a specific project, or sometimes they'll make a general donation, and then we'll put it here in the safe. And then when somebody shows up at the door and needs some medicine, or maybe they need some notebooks to go to school, then we can pull out of those funds and go buy them the medicine or the notebooks that they need, and help them, get on their way. So the
All
name of
right.
the organization.
So we're gonna wrap up. We'll be able to continue more on the story of that doctor, but
Sure.
before we wrap up, just want to touch on one thing. The last time, one of the things that I had given you advice on was doing those daily updates. When I saw you start to do them, I said, "Hey, yeah, this right here is going to be good for you." And so, how has that been? Have you liked that the daily updates? Has that helped ground you, keep you grounded?
Yeah, because I work with other NGOs in Honduras, and actually I'm in the process right now of trying to reach out to every single American NGO in Honduras, whether it's Christian or not Christian based. And I'm trying to develop a way to bring us all together on one site, and also for us to communicate together and to help each other. And in doing that, I realized, I follow what they do, how they get donations, how they handle their funding, how they operate, and just kind of build off of what they've already done. And I noticed that really none of them do any kind of live video updates. They have Facebook, they have Twitter, they have a website. And so basically you're
No
looking at pictures.
podcasts, no vlogging,
No,
no
yeah,
podcasts, no video.
yeah, nothing like that. And so basically as a donor, you're looking at a picture and a request for funds. And I mean, all that is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I know for me personally, if I'm going to donate to a foreign country, I want to hear somebody's voice. I want to see somebody's face. I want them to maybe explain a little more about the problem, the issue, and how they're going to solve it. And so I started doing that. It was weekly updates, and then as work kind of slowed down, we don't do it every week, but we try to come on at least every 2 weeks and explain to the donors where we're at, what we've done. Give a shout out to the donors, the recent donors that donate for certain projects, and also use it as a platform to let donors know, and people that are following us, exactly what's happening in Honduras. Something that you're not going to get on C-SPAN or CNN or Fox News, the real deal situation on the ground. Because I know a lot of Americans have a negative attitude towards Central America. And some of that's for good reason. A lot of immigrants come illegally and they break the law and stuff like that. But that's something that happens all over the world, that we don't single out one race or one type of person for that. And so we just try to make Americans aware that Hondurans are in a very bad situation right now, in which they have absolutely no control. And unfortunately, at this point, the U.S. is just turning a blind eye. And so we're just trying to make the people aware of, what's going on, and not so they'll feel sorry for Hondurans, but maybe they'll be sympathetic and want to try to help out a little bit in country.
All right, man. So I got some bad news and I got some good news, though.
Okay.
About 10 minutes ago, I realized we were not live.
Yeah, I noticed a record on there, and I thought something might have changed, but it's no big deal.
I've got, though, cool thing is, well, I started that record when I noticed it, so that I could get some video.
Sure.
But I've got audio. I've got my voice recorder here. I'm at 3 minutes and 4 seconds. So what I'll be able to do is, even though this was our first series on the Prospector's Library TV, and what we're going to be able to do is I can take this audio and put it onto a video with black screen and just let it run as part of the documentation of the story. And then this video where I got right now that shows you, I can cut the audio at that point and then just allow the video. So it'll go from the audio, what we managed to save because my backup, and so that's cool.
Okay.
It's better than nothing, and it's 10:30 here. I'm a Monday through Friday. I drop mom off at work, drop the kids off at school, and I got my free time. And then I got to pick up the kids, and then I got to pick up mom. And so let's schedule this back for next Wednesday.
Okay.
If you want to do one sooner than that, anytime. Well, it might be a little challenging because I'm trying to figure out where to fit things. So let's go with Wednesday nights,
Sure.
and I'm gonna get this edited and up on the YouTube page, and so that'll be a start, and then we're gonna go from there. Hey, I want to tell you, man, you're doing a hell of a job, dude. You really are. I'm like so excited because you've managed to keep it going. You know, I mean, I've seen people show up in Honduras and run out of there like a dog with the tail between their legs within, a few months. And
Yeah,
so
it's true. We help some missionaries that are running an orphanage, and they're just completely ass backwards. Basically, they have good intentions but have no idea what they're doing, and
yeah, and it's
it's
really
very
easy,
difficult.
it's really easy for them to with good hearts to not know what to do with people. And sometimes, like I've seen with one missions, it's like, dude, the person who you're trusting for your information is totally playing you. And
Yeah, and that's basically the problem, is that Americans, especially religious Americans, come down here and they seek pastors, which that's the normal. You're supposed to seek out pastors in the country, and these majority of the pastors in Honduras are misleading people, and in a way to where they set them up for failure or to take advantage of them. And in some cases, they do both. And so, yeah, it's very difficult. But I could say if I had not had my combat experience and my military discipline and training, I don't think I would have made it 2 years in Omoa either, because it's very politicized and very dangerous here.
yeah, for sure. Well, hey man, so
Yeah.
good job with everything
Okay.
and great recording. You were almost flawless. Your ability
Okay.
right now to speak, it's really good. You might have always had that, but you definitely set a really good pace. You were able to work with the time frame. You were able to articulate clearly and with the same tone, and yeah, very very good quality stuff. Very commendable, amazing accomplishment, and I want to say thanks, man. It was
All
a
right, brother.
pleasure. It was a
Sounds good.
pleasure. It was a pleasure to hear this part of you too. And I hope it was a pleasure for you to be able to share and to hear some of my interjections, of course, as the host. But what do you think? What you got any feedback from this? Did you like it?
Yeah, I think it was good. It was good. I want to see. You said on YouTube it's Prospect TV.
No. So the podcast is the Solomon's Treasure podcast,
Got you.
and we are creating various series shows.
Okay.
So this is the Prospector's Library TV, but
Okay.
what we're going to do, what we are doing is we're setting up for establishing on the ground a training center within education systems to be able to help people understand not only the dangers that they're doing to themselves in the mining industry, but also how to solve those problems, and as well as help solve and build up the schools, solve the problems, help teach sustainability, basically help bring the country up to speed with where the world's at, man.
Right.
Which is a huge, it's a huge giant, but we're you eat an elephant one bite at a time. So you've been there doing this grinding. We're going to take our time and set a pace, and we're just going to start grinding at it and develop a story and get some exposure, and then get some framework, and then we're going to put together a plan, and then we're going to get the funding, and then we're going to make it happen.
Sounds good, brother. Sounds good. All
All
right,
right, man.
good talking to you, and we'll be ready Wednesday.
All right, man. I'll holler at you later.
Okay, brother. Peace.